wants you to hear this. God wants you to be a better version of yourself. If God is real, He wants the best for you. And He doesn't want us distracted on our phones all the time. He wants us to live in the real world, to make real connections, to make real friends, and to make real memories. And I don't think He intended us to be so stuck on our phones. And besides that, I think what all this consumption of content is doing is making us doubt ourselves of what we can truly accomplish, of what God can truly accomplish. In my perspective, God is, of course, a higher power, but I think it's possibly the best version of yourself, because if you really think about it, you're the God of your own world. You create the circumstances that surround you. You create the connections, or how you treat those connections. So if God points you in a direction that is going to improve your life, then take that direction, especially if it's fulfilling. To experiment with something new in your life. It's a guide for us to make a better life for ourselves. God doesn't want you to be depressed. In my world, I chose to be depressed. God never put me there. But once I had a little bit of prayer and a little bit of hope, and just making that little bit of connection with some kind of higher power is a motivation that the whole world needs. Love can fix all. God is love. If we intertwine all of our human experiences, then we're experiencing life together. God gave us these platforms of online to make communities. To make communities that support each other. Although we're getting lost in the sauce. We're getting lost in the reels. We're getting lost in what our real purpose in our lives are. We need to stop this grind hustle just to go home and consume content. We need to do something more with our lives. It's not just about going to work. We need to use our brain to its full ability. Create something that will uplift someone else. Engineer a solution to make human life easier. We engineered cars to simplify transportation. So why can't we engineer something that brings people closer? And that's kind of what YouTube ended up being. A community, a website engineered to create a real human existence online. The more raw the video, the more authentic it can be. Yes, a higher produced video, you're gonna watch it, but how authentic is that? Are they really getting the message that they want to come across? Or are we just trying to make our numbers look good? Are we just trying to be more impressionable instead of actually completing God's mission? God's mission of spreading the word that God is love. That we need to uplift each other. We need to come together as communities and support each other. Especially now in this mental health crisis that we've been having, we need each other more than ever. If you can't have those connections in real life, we need to start spreading these positive messages online so that we are actually creating a service to the websites or creating a service to the communities. And my message is, don't give up. Those days that you feel depressed, get out of them. Pull your head out of that hole. You are deciding to live in that depression. Now, I know depression is a medical issue, and I do advise, if you are really struggling, to consider therapy. I would not suggest going full religion, because religion can be a little bit of a fairy tale when it comes to trying to cure your depression. The Bible is really great in giving you these great stories and uplifting stories of helping communities of people. But sometimes you do need to seek professional help. And don't be afraid to. We need to keep opening up this conversation of, if you feel that you are depressed, make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. And that's really the message that God wants you to hear, is that love yourself. Try to gain control of your life by consulting professionals, taking little bits of religion here, a little advice from religion over here there, but definitely find a good therapist. I might get some flack about me saying religion can be a little bit of a fairy tale, but it was a fairy tale to me at one point. And all I'm trying to say is that God is a higher power, and if anything, God is just a version of yourself that wants the best for you. And listen to that voice. Listen to that voice that's telling you to do better. If you tell yourself you're gonna go do this, but something else influences you to do that, you can't blame that influence. You can only work on yourself. So therefore, listen to God to guide you, while also seeking professional help to make sure you're aligned with reality. Because all we have in this life is reality. So take this little concept that God is just the best version of yourself, and that God wants the best for you. And if you're ever depressed, talk to someone. Get that better help. Or go see a professional. Go into your doctor. Tell them you want to have a mental health screening. Stop scrolling and let God into your life. And let God guide you to the light of a better life.